So you're looking to get into Code Vein, huh? Got your reasons? 2 big reasons? I see ya. Well, with Code Vein 2 right around the corner, it seems like a good time to catch up on the story. And if you don't feel like dumping 30 hours of game time and stress into this anime Souls-like, don't worry, I've got you covered. And how complex could a story be about anime vampires? Right? Right? So to start off, you wake up in a weird tutorial-like zone. This lady here's your tutorial. Don't worry, her name is Cruz, and she's totally not going to be important later. After that, you wake up with a random lady named Io. And, surprise, surprise, you have amnesia with no memory of who you are. You seem to be in the ruins of a city with giant growing plants and thorns growing through it. Plus, there's this red mist everywhere, too. You and Io drag yourself over to this big white plant and... wait, no, gross. Don't do that. Don't do that. Ugh. But wait, your blood turns this plant into producing more blood? Blood pods? Oh, sorry, blood beads. Also, looks like everyone's a vampire, but they're called revenants. Anyway, before you can fully get healed by this blood spring tree thing, a group of military peeps show up and forcibly take you as volunteers. Yay! Apparently in this world, all the revenants are starving for blood. Blood can usually be obtained through these blood spring trees, but they've all been drying up and no one really knows why. You hear murmurs of the leader of this land, Sylvia, looking for any active blood springs. So as part of this newly non-volunteered group, you go out in search of this blood spring with your new lifelong buddy. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to him. As you explore, you learn about these lost ones. Basically, revenants are immortal and they can only die by being pierced in the heart. But that doesn't mean you can't go insane. And sometimes they do. They only starve so much and take on so much pain before they eventually crack and become frenzied, transforming their bodies into the Lost Ones. As Lost Ones, they also emit this gas called miasma, which increases your frenzy even more. So you gotta wear these sick-ass masks and make sure they don't break in. Damn it. So after you defeat your old new pal with your new pal and rescuing Io, this weird spiky gem thing drops. This is a vestige. It basically contains the powers and the memories of the revenant you killed. But if you touch it and absorb it, you might get frenzied. So you probably shouldn't... dude... Oh, wait, hold on. It looks like you're immune. And you also get to peer inside the memories? And take on the powers. Huh. Must mean you're kind of like special or something. After retreating with Louis and Io back to the Louis cave, he explains that the red mists surrounding this land keeps everyone in like a prison, and those who venture inside of it are burdened with great pain and tend to go frenzied quicker. So everyone's kind of trapped in these ruins. And the red mist appeared right after the queen was defeated. Yep, you had a vampire queen, and she was cool as hell. But now this person known as Sylvia is the new de facto leader with his Cerberus crew trying to find as many blood beads as they can. Turns out with your special powers, you can revitalize blood springs and clear the miasma in the air. So you start off on your new goal to trying to clean the miasma and restore the flow of blood to the Jail of the Mists. That's also the actual name for this, but not like Jail, it's like Gaol. Anyway, along your adventures to reignite the blood flow, you come across some new companions. Yakumo, a merc who became a revenant with a tragic past, and Mia, a survivor who lived with her brother, who is now trying to track down his killer, this mysterious man known as the Revenant Hunter. You also come across a human who still is a human. You rescue her and learn that humans live in shelters provided by the government where they can be safe and protected, but still have to donate blood. Looks like the Matrix was right about the human livestock thing, huh? You also learn about the Great Collapse, an event that happened that destroyed the human civilization and birthed revenants. Basically, these giant thorn plants you see all around came up and monsters came out with it. Anyway, as you travel deeper up the roots to figure out why the flow of blood has stopped, you finally make it to the source, a place called the Chapel of Sacred Blood. After coming across some more lost memories, you start to learn more about the Queen. Oh hey look, it's Cruz. I tricked you, she was important later. Turns out she was part of a set of experiments called Project Queen to become a revenant with no bloodlust. Revenants, turns out, were created by the government to fight off the monsters after the collapse. But they ended up having a lust for blood. Crazy how resurrecting corpses does that. So after a lot of experiments, she became a revenant with great power. And for a while, she did a lot of great things with it. She created medicine to help push back the miasma and invented masks to keep people from going frenzied. However, because of the great pain of the experimentation that was forced upon her, she ended up going frenzied. And she had a lot of power, which means a lot of miasma and a lot more lost ones. So, Sylvia created more revenants and charged against the frenzied queen. Turns out, you were there. You were a part of the final assault when they killed the queen. Not only that, but you landed the killing blow. It's like you're special or something. You were a part of the force that went and slayed the queen, along with this guy, Oh hey, that's the Revenant Hunter, whose name is Jack, and oh hey, look at that, it's Sylvia. Just know all the important peeps. Anyway, that killing blow ended up sucking up some of the Queen's blood into your own. Jack and Sylvia turned on you and decided to kill you, but somehow missed a point-blank shot and you fall into the bottom of the chasm. Whew, that was a big lore drop. Hopefully they won't throw anything else at you. Oh wait, not long after that you end up fighting something called a Successor. When you kill it, its vestige drops, but it quickly regenerates. You fight it again and take up the vestige, that's bigger and odd looking. As you peer into the memory, you realize a Successor is someone really important. You see, when the Queen died, they tried destroying her body, but it kept regenerating, which means she would be back, and soon. So Sylvia decided to cut up the Queen's body, create these relic vestiges out of them, and give them to volunteers who would seal themselves away. But nothing is ever that simple, and the Queen's body started to erode at the Successors, causing them great pain and bloodlust, and eventually some of them started to frenzy. But you have the power to hold them and not get hurt, as well as quell the relics. It's like you're... You also learn that this blood flow that's been going across the land is actually one of the Successor's power, and it happens to be Louis' sister. He's not very happy about it. So, you're tasked with a new job. Go and find all the other Successors and quell their frenzy before they are all lost and the Queen revives. But before you leave, you're attacked by Jack the Revenant Hunter. You beat him and he confirms that you two are after the same thing, quelling the relics and making sure the Successors don't go frenzied. After he retreats, you go and look for the next Successor on a snowy mountain. Nicholas, Nia's little brother. He could make copies of himself, and the version that was actually with Nia this entire time was just a copy. After quelling his relic, Jack and his partner Eva needs help with the Successor and joins forces with your team. Jack explains his role in this whole situation as he is a watcher. Basically, he is a Successor himself, and he watches over other Successors to make sure they don't go frenzied. If they do, his job is to eliminate them and find a new Successor. About this time, Io starts to notice something strange. Every time you come upon a Successor, a clone of her stands outside the gate as an attendant. As you explore some of the vestiges and memories, you realize that Io herself is an attendant, and every Successor has an attendant as well, which makes you a Successor, the Successor of Blood. See, I told you were special. When you absorbed the Queen's blood, you became the first Successor. So you go and take out the next Successor, and as you do, you run into this guy. His name is Mido, and he is not a good guy. In fact, he did a lot of experiments on a lot of people. You learn that revenants were actually human corpses infected with a virus to drive back the monsters of the collapse, and again to kill the Queen. He then takes all the relics that Eva and Jack had, and goes in search of Sylvia, who is also a Successor. We also learn that Sylvia created the Red Mist. The idea was after the Queen was killed, revenants and lost ones would still need blood, and humans, still existing, would probably be hunted down. So the Red Mist was erected so that way all the revenants would be stuck inside and not prey on other humans. Kind of bleak, but, you know, vampires, am I right? So now you have a new job. Go kill Mido. You go to his forces, you fight through his experiments. Jesus. It turns out he doesn't want to revive the Queen. Psych. He releases the relics that he has come to possess into Sylvia, who sits upon his throne that keeps the Red Mist up. It temporarily brings down the Red Mist, and on the other side is not humans, but actually giant monsters. Turns out Mido knows that these monsters exist on the other side of the Red Mist, and he wants to study them and help progress the evolution of the Revenants. However, Sylvia temporarily drives back the frenzy, giving you enough time to kill Mido and make your way over to Sylvia before he completely turns. But before this, you do have a little bit of time. If you want, you can go to the other attendants in front of the Successors and help them with their vestiges. Or you can not, because whatever. So you go with your buddies and you go and kill Sylvia. And depending on how many attendants you actually helped, you get one of 3 different endings. If you didn't fix any of the vestiges from the other attendants, you try to take up all of the relics, but end up going frenzied and basically become the Queen incarnate. However, Louis stabs you in the back, what a jerk, before you can go killing anyone. Divvies up your body to your companions, and they go on to be Successors of their own, starting a new cycle. If you help out at least one attendant, you take the relics in successfully, you sit upon the Mist Throne, and you rest with Io for what can be presumed as forever. Or, if you end up helping out all the attendants, you try to take them in, but just as you do, Io takes them from you, as well as the relics from the others, and transforms into a massive blood spring. All of the other Successors turn back into their normal Revenant form, and the Red Mist stays up to keep you protected. In the epilogue of the last ending, years later, you and your friends decide that you're going to venture outside the Red Mist, ready for the next big adventure. But yeah, that's the story of Code Vein. Nice and clear as mud, right? Looks like Code Vein 2 does take place in the far future, so hopefully none of that should come up. What's that? Huh? There's time travel? Ugh. Anyway, if you have any questions about the plot, let me know. Also, if you like this, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Or if you just want to talk games, come join the Discord. Anyway, toodles.